Today we will compare percents, fractions, and decimals all together. So yesterday we were talking about how a percent is 1 part of 100. So we're going to constantly be coming back to yesterday's notes. So I know that 1% is 1 over 100, and now I know how to go from the fraction into decimal and vice versa. So we're going to apply yesterday's knowledge to today. A couple of things we need to remember is what these symbols mean. So this guy right here, the first one, we read is greater than. The second one is less than. So every time you're comparing two things and then you see a sign like that, that's how you read. Or everybody knows is equal to. All right. We're going to work a couple examples here, and we're all trying to choose the sign that makes the statement true. So the first one we have 1 over 2 blank 50%. We need to choose between these three signs right there. But like, they don't mean anything to me. Like when I'm comparing a fraction to a percentage, it's all crazy. So I'm going to have to convert into something that I can convert and compare. So we can change them both to a decimal, or we can change them both into percentage. So we can just convert the fraction into a percentage. So we will convert the fraction into percentage. So we're going to use our handy dandy calculator here. So we're going to do 1 over 2. It's going to give me a decimal. So if I just do 1 over 2 in the calculator, that's going to give me a decimal. The decimal of that, my handy dandy calculator told me 0.5. So 0.5. Now to change that fraction, this decimal, into a percentage, I just have to multiply by 100 times 100 times 100. So now I have 50%. So I did all of this just to convert 1/2 equals 0.5 equals 50%. So now I can compare this guy with this guy. Since I know 1 over 2 or 1/2 is the same thing as 50%, which one of these three signs would make more sense for me to put in there? 50% is equal to 50%. That's all we're doing. So we're choosing the sign that makes the statement true. Another one. So let's say that we have 0.936, I don't know, compared to 26%. Notice that now I don't have a fraction, I have a decimal. So part of my problem has been resolved. This one is percentage. So we can change this one into percentage, or we can change this one into decimal. Whichever way you choose to do, just stick to it. Me personally, I just want to go ahead and change this guy into a decimal. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change 26% into a decimal. Do you remember from yesterday how to do that? I'm going to look at my notes. How to change percentage into a decimal. So I just divide by 100. That's the same thing I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to do 26 divide by 100. Handy dandy calculator here. (26) divided by 100, 0.26. Now it's easy for me to compare two decimals. So now I'm going to rewrite this is 0.26. All right. Is 0.936 greater than 0.26, we're going to just look at 0.9 and 0.2. 0.9 is greater than 0.2 because 9 is greater than 2. So is greater than, I'm going to choose this guy. So boom, 0.936 is greater than 0.26. Another one. 96% compared to 9. Ooh. So I'm going to change that into decimal. Change what into decimal, you ask? So I'm going to change 96% into decimal. And from yesterday and from example 2, we know we just need to divide that by 100. So 96 divided by 100. So 0.96. 0.96. So 0.96 is smaller than, is less than 9. Is less than, so I'm going to use this sign, is less than 9. That's all I got. Oh, word problems. You thought you were going to escape, huh? Okay, so sorry about the writing, but we gotta write just to make sure that we know what we're writing so we know what we read. Last week we have 1/10 or 1/10 of the shirts sold at Philippe's Boutique were black. So 1/10 were black. And then in comparison, we have another store, Shirts and More, with 8% of the shirts were black. Which store sold greater percentage of black shirts? Well, so here we're trying to compare 1/10 to 8%. It's the same idea that we worked on the other examples. I can't compare a fraction to a percentage. So I'm gonna have to choose somebody to something. Since we've been changing both to a decimal, why don't we change this guy into a percentage? Just because. So we're going to change 1/10 into percentage. So we have to change that into a decimal and then multiply by 100. So I'm going to change 1/10 into a decimal, then times 100. How about that? So handy dandy calculator here. 1/10 that's my decimal, times 100. That's 10%. So 1/10 is the same thing as 10%. So we got 10% here compared to 8%. So 10% is greater than 8%. So whoever sold 1/10, which is Felipe's boutique, sold the greater percentage. Therefore, I'm going to write down my answer. Felipe's boutique sold greater percentage of black shirts. Good thing on Excel, you just need to click. You don't have to write it all out. But this is the reason why you have to compare the fraction. You have to change it first so you're able to compare. And then after you make that comparison, you make your conclusion so you can answer that question.